Life has a way of making you feel like a ghost. Like you're in a room screaming full of people and no one turns their head. You could be grinding, struggling, building yourself up from nothing, and the world keeps moving indifferent. Like you don't even exist. That's the reality that they don't tell you about growing up in the trenches. In places where dreams die young and hope is just another word for fools. But that's exactly why you have to keep going because nobody really gives a so you might as well just do it anyways. Just do it. Just create. Just put yourself out there. From the beginning, I understand that my life wasn't going to be handed to me. Born and raised in an environment where survival was your only priority. I learned young that the world doesn't wait for you to catch up. If you're not moving forward, you're already behind. I seen friends get swallowed up by the streets, their potential wasted, their stories untold. And for a long time, I thought that was going to be me. Another statistic, another name etched in the memory of a few, forgotten by the masses. But then something clicked. I realized if no one gives a then I had nothing to lose by putting myself out there. The problem with most people is that they waiting for validation, waiting for somebody to notice them, waiting for permission to start. But the harsh truth, nobody cares. And that should be the most freeing realization of your life. If nobody cares, then you're not shackled by their opinions. You're not burdened by their expectations. That means you can do whatever the hell you want. You can create, you can grind, you can build something for nothing without feeling judgment. Because at the end of the day, people are too wrapped up in their own problems to be worried about yours. I learned this lesson the hard way. I used to think that if I work hard enough, if I struggle in silence, someone will notice. That someone would throw me a lifeline, open doors, give me a shot. But that's not how life works. You have to take your shot. You have to break the door down if it won't open. You have to make people notice you by showing up every single day and letting them know that you belong. And that starts with just posting, just sharing your journey, your work, your thoughts. Because if you don't put yourself out there, how the hell is anyone supposed to see you? I remember the first time I put myself out there, really put myself out there. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't polished, it wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that's all that matters. I stopped waiting for the right moment because I realized there's no right moment. The perfect time is now. If you're waiting for everything to align and all the pieces to fall in place, you'll be waiting forever. So I just did it. I posted, then I posted again and again. And slowly things started to change. People started noticing, not just because I was the best, not because I was special, but because I was consistent, because I showed up when others didn't. Because while everyone else is hesitating, doubting themselves, overthinking, I was just doing. And that's the secret. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be there. You just need to keep showing up. The world is full of people with talent, dreams, potential, but most of them will never take the first step. They'll talk about what they could do. They'll plan their strategy, their dreams, but they won't act. Because deep down, they're afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, afraid that they're not good enough. But here's the truth. Nobody really gives a. And once you embrace that, you become unstoppable. I've learned the only way to make something happen is just to do it. To stop waiting, to stop overthinking, stop caring so much about what people might say. Because people will always have something to say. They'll always doubt you. They'll criticize you. They'll ignore you until they can't. Until you work, your consistency, your present becomes undeniable. But that only happens if you start, if you keep going. If you push through when it feels like no one is watching, you don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need anybody to believe in you before you start. All you need is to take the first step and keep taking the steps. The people who succeed aren't the ones that are handed opportunities. They're the ones who create them. They're the ones who show up every day and post their work, who push forward despite doubt, despite the silence, despite the fear. If you take one thing from this, let it be this. Nobody really gives a so stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop looking for reasons to delay and just post. Just do it. Just start. Because the only thing worse than failing is not trying at all. And if nobody's watching you right now, good. That means you have nothing to lose. That means you have freedom to build, to experiment, to grow without the pressure of expectations. And one day when you made it, when you've built something real, people will look back and wonder how you did it. And you'll know the truth. It wasn't magic, it wasn't luck. It was just actions, just persistence, just posting. And here's the thing, consistency compounds. What starts as a single step, single post, turns into momentum. It turns into a body of work that no one can't ignore. Your first post won't be the best. Your first try at anything won't be perfect, but it's the start of something bigger. It's a foundation. Every piece you put out, every step you take, every hour you dedicate, it builds. And one day when you look back, you'll realize how far you come simply because you've never stopped. This is the part where most people quit. When they don't see results fast enough, when they don't get the recognition they crave, they stop. But you're different. You keep going because you understand the results don't come with what you do occasionally, but from what you do consistently. Keep pushing, keep posting, keep building, and watch how the world eventually starts to care because you refuse to let their indifference stop you. And when you finally break through, when people start to notice, when the world begins to pay attention, it won't be because you got lucky. It'll be because you outlasted everyone else, because you refused to be ignored, because you made so much noise they had no choice but to listen. That's the real game. That's how you win. And it all starts with a single post. So stop waiting. Start now. Just post.